Okay, perfect. So we just got the recording up and going. We are ready to go. So welcome to I think we might be on week 4. Holy moly, you guys. So I know that you have seen a lot of me and Shannon Blast, but that's because we are doing this month. Different people are going to do different months. And one of our goals is that you guys have a skill and we spend some time digging in and learning all the different things about the skill. So that's kind of why, if it seems like we're talking a lot about social media, is because that's one of the skills we're working on this month. And then we're going to move on to other things. So January is going to be Canva. And then we're going to keep moving on to other skills we find are useful in our businesses and we think might be good resources for you guys too. So just so you guys know, this is not going to be the Shannon and Shannon show forever, although I know you guys have been enjoying it very much. So one of the things that we had gotten some feedback that you guys wanted to know how to do is how to make a reel in Canva. And so this is really simple. If you did not see the prompt that you were supposed to come ready to fill in the blanks in for was something around I don't have it in front of me. That's dumb. What I wish I had known about blank before blank. Okay. So if you did not come prepared with filling in the blank on that, that's the reel we're going to make. So all of our reels are going to be similar, but different. Okay. So I'm going to start to screen share. If you want to pull up your Canva at the same time you're doing this, I do Canva on the phone all the time, you guys. That's like 99.9% of the time. I do everything on Canva on the phone, but a lot of people prefer their laptop. So if you're using your laptop for Zoom and you want to do Canva on the phone, it's going to work exactly the same way, or vice versa. However it works for you is completely fine. So go ahead and get that pulled up. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what this looks like. Okay. So this is the home screen of Canva, whether you are in your phone or whether you are using the computer. And what you're going to do to make a reel is you're just going to go to social media. Things are in slightly different places in mobile, but really not that different. And then you can see you have all these options about what kind of media you want to make. It doesn't matter that much, except for all this means is that they're properly sized for what you're trying to do. If you start to make something, let's say in a Facebook post, and then you don't want it to be a Facebook post, you can easily resize it. But so for now, just to make this easier, we're going to go to Instagram Reels. So you can start with a blank screen like this, and you can start from scratch. So sometimes if you see people and all they have is like maybe like themselves, or like they're just walking real quick and they have a couple of words, they may have gone ahead and started from scratch, but we today are going to use a template. So if you are on your laptop, it's over here. If you're on mobile, I actually find it's easier to do this. You just go to the search box. And well, start out with, you don't have to go search box. You can just look at all the templates there are. Look at all these. You can just find one you like for anything. They start to play when you move your mouse over them, or on mobile, when you kind of stop and look at them, then they'll start to play. So you see what it looks like going through. So you can pick any of these. This is one you guys will see I have used quite a bit. I really like the little frame thing. You could do that yourself anytime by adding an element. But like I said, sometimes it's just easier to use a template. So today in the search, you're going to put calming morning, because I already found one that we're going to use. And you're going to look for the one that looks like this. It's a girl running. So go ahead and click that and hit apply all 3 pages if you're on the same screen I'm on. If you're on mobile, you probably will not need to hit that. I truly find this easier to do on my phone. The laptop offers you a lot more options, but I find it less intuitive, just so you guys know. So things are going to be a little different depending upon where you're looking at it. So here's some things I want to show you. Number one, you can see right here, this is 3 screens. And all that means is it's going to move through your wording on 3 different videos or images. There's plenty of them on there that are just 1 screen as well. So that's the first thing I want to show you. The second thing I want to show you is if you don't want to use their video that they have, which you probably don't, all you're going to do is you're going to click on it and you're going to look for replace if you're on mobile, or edit video here if you're on the laptop. And then after you've hit replace or you've hit edit video, you can search. So let's say you don't have your own video you want to use. You don't have any B-roll here. You have nothing shot. Then what I do is I would go to elements and I would search for something. So maybe my personal video is going to be what I wish I knew about MLMs before starting my business, right? Let's say that's what I'm going to do with my prompt. So I'm going to search like community because I want some kind of video of like girls being together. And so then from up here, I'm going to choose videos. So here's their videos that they think have to do with community. I might like some of them. I might not like some of them. You just pick the one you might like. So let's say your video is going to be about nutrition. Maybe you want to choose somebody meal prepping. So you might search the word meal prep. You might search, like this morning, I searched green drink. I was working on a presentation. I wanted some Green Gut Glow. I didn't feel like taking a picture of myself. They have a ton of green drinks in here. If I don't like community, I sometimes search something like work. And then you have all of these options: office work, working hard, working from home, working on a laptop. So I can just choose this one and it is going to set that for me. The shape on this is not quite right. So you can drag it up here. I like to drag it to the corner, and then you're able to change the shape on it by pulling down. Or you can pull diagonally to keep a little more of the shape. So then let's say I've changed the video, right? You guys have all chosen maybe a video you like. It doesn't need to be the right amount of time. You can see that down here, it changed it to 17 seconds. I don't want my first tile to be 17 seconds. I can really easily trim this video to make it a lot less time. So I want this video to go back to being like 3.5 seconds like it was in the beginning. You can just move it with the slider down here. It's the same on mobile as it is on your laptop. So I'm just moving this back to being about 3.4 seconds. I've replaced it. So this is kind of what it looks like now. If I start it from scratch again, here we are. We got this guy's hands typing, but I didn't change the second tile. So that's still her running, right? So that's all you're going to do is you're going to find a video you like. It can be any kind of B-roll you want, or if you have your own, if you're on the computer, you're going to go to uploads. And then I can use videos that are mine here. I don't have a lot of them currently uploaded. This is one of the reasons I prefer to use my phone to do this, because I shoot almost everything I do on my phone. So when I then go to change from their generic B-roll video to me, right? Maybe I'm cheersing with a green drink, whatever I'm doing, all of that's already on my phone. And for me, it's so much easier to do this on the phone because I have all of my content on my phone already. But you can also easily do it on the computer, and you either have your things uploaded, or if you do not have your things uploaded,
last bit, okay? So
you'll just hit upload file and go to your photos. If you don't have a MacBook, I don't know how your phone and your laptop work together. You might have to be more specific about getting your photo and videos off your phone and onto your laptop somehow. I don't know how that works. This is a MacBook. Mine automatically syncs. So this is just stuff off my phone. It's actually not totally synced from everything I've done today, but I can easily pick a video that I want and use that. Right now it's in photos. And so if I wanted to replace that with something that's mine, I could upload it up here and then I could be using my own. So that's how that works. And then you're going to want to change the text. So there's 3 tiles on this particular reel. So I would probably start the first tile with what I wish I had known. When you click it, you can easily just retype. You can do anything you want with this font. Again, I actually find this a lot easier on my phone. I find it easier to move. I just find everything about this easier on the phone, but I wanted to screen share with you guys. I guess I could have put Zoom on the phone and done this as well. You can move this. I'm just having a hard time doing it, but it does easily move, particularly on the phone. It's making me crazy. So you can change the size, same deal, by pulling the diagonal if you want to scale it, or shrinking it that way. Or if you want it to go longer. So for example, if you have like a longer caption and you want more space like this, so it's not broken up as much, you can make it wider, longer, however you want your words to go. You can also really easily change anything about them up here. So if you wish they were black, you can change that. If you're somebody who has decided to set your brand colors, you can change it to your brand colors. You can change the font up here. So if you hate the font that they're using and you're like, gosh, I really wish I had this one, you can change it to anything you like. I have a couple that I use over and over again. You'll probably get to that point too, where just like the vibe of one of the fonts is more like what you like. So you'll get to know what you like. But in general, when you're trying to use a template, the point is to be making this faster and easier on yourself. And so they have picked 2 fonts usually, or 3 fonts that go together and look nice together. So I kind of just leave them often. If I like the way it's going, I leave them. But you can change a lot of things about where this is. You can change how fast it goes. You can change the duration here for how long it goes. You can change everything you want pretty much about this font. You can also, if it was not already animated, you can make it move in different ways. So they're going to have that under effects probably. And you can also change it to have all kinds of different things. Lift, shadow, you can make it curved. You can make it uncurved. There's so many different things you can change. But again, if you are new and you're just starting this, don't try to mess with it too much. Just go ahead, leave it as it is. You can move it up, you can move it down. If you don't like the current animation, that animation means how it comes onto your screen. That is changeable. So you'll hit pan because that's what they have it set on. And then you have options for how you want it to go. You could change it to typewriter, ascend, shift. You could change almost anything about this. If you just don't like it, you can fix it. The good news is if you mess up and you hate what you just did, you can just go like this. The little backseat button, it's the same on mobile and on the computer. When you do that, it takes you to whatever you had just done. If you pay for Pro, you can always revert to a previous version too. If you don't pay for Pro, that's not an option. But if you do pay for Pro, you can revert to a previous version when you're like, oh, I really messed that up, but I messed it up by like 30 steps. Then you can revert to a previous version. So you get this one already. You like it, you're good, you're leaving it. You can move on to tile 2. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to click on the video. And then if you're on the computer, you're going to hit edit video. If you're on your phone, you're going to hit replace. And then you're going to decide what do you want to look for here. I've got somebody working. I'm going to look for another working video. These are all maybe too similar. So maybe I'll just look up here and see what else they have for me using a laptop, working from home. You just pick anything you like. You can pick something out of your own camera roll, or you can pick their videos. I'm not loving any of this. I might put friends in and see what comes up to see if I can find a video that seems more like a good vibe to me. So let's say I like this one. Just going to put it back up in the corner, stretch it back out so that it covers. I like this one better than the other one. And so on my first tile, I had the wording, what I wish I had known. This is the second tile. I'm going to change it to before I started an MLM business. You guys know this is kind of my stick. I like to talk a little bit about how I thought I was too good for this, so I can capture all the people who were like me. They think they're too educated. They think they're too good, whatever they think about the business, right? See, I just made it bigger. I don't like that because now I feel like it's harder to see. I'm going to make it smaller again. It really helps if whatever you're using is kind of a hook for people that makes people want to watch. What would make them want to continue watching? Your entire goal for this stuff is for people to continue to watch as long as possible. What Instagram is favoring is what's called watch time. It basically means people continue to watch your whole video and maybe even watched it run more than one time. And the way to do that is to make them interested immediately in what you're having to say. So you can see, because I chose this video that was theirs and I didn't choose one of my own, I'm going to have to trim it again to be the length that I want it to be again. I'm going to put it back at 3.5 seconds again. The length doesn't really matter as long as when you hit play, you can easily read your wording before it like is gone. This doesn't seem like it is on an animate, but it is. I'm going to change the animation on this one again to, let's say, Okay. You start it back at the beginning. See what it looks like. This one happens to have music behind it. You can remove that. There you go. That's tile 1, tile 2. And then for tile 3, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to replace your video with whatever you want. I don't know what I want today. I might feel like travel now, right? Because I'm talking about the business. Maybe I want to replace it with something that looks really fun about traveling. Okay. Maybe this one. Doesn't matter. You do yours while I'm doing mine, right? So that you're getting all the things that you need. And so then on my last tile, because my goal is to make people watch as long as possible. And one of the ways to do that is to have them be reading your caption. People are much slower readers than you think. So you can increase your watch times by quite a bit by putting all your information in your caption instead of trying to put all your information in your video. So I might just change this wording here to say caption, because I want people to know that that's what they should be doing next. Go look at the caption. That's what I want you to be doing next. And then I think this is too small, so I'm going to increase my font size here. If I wanted to, I could make this longer, and then I can increase the font size even more without making it go to the second line. And then I want to do some kind of arrow. I want to tell people to go to the caption, so I'm going to do some kind of arrow. So you would go back to elements to do that and just type in the word arrow if you want. And then I have an option of the kind I want. Do I want it to be just a shape? Do I want it to be graphic? Do I want to take it from their photos? Because then you can see you've got the ability to have kind of cooler colors, things that are a little bit more interesting that maybe Instagram doesn't have. Instagram actually, for being a creator space, is super, super limited in your options for adding little things like these arrows or whatever. So let's say I'm just going to add this one. And then you can just move it around to where you want. This button here is how you can turn any element that you have on here. So if it looks like a little curly thing, that is how you can turn it. So I probably want to turn mine a little bit to kind of aim down. And this is way too big for me. So I'm going to make it a lot smaller and move it over here, something like that, right? Now, is this a great reel? No, I'm just doing this super quick to show you what is possible. I can't see your questions, but I will get to those in a minute. But you can do this with anything. And then all you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and save it. And then when you go to Instagram, you'll hit the plus sign like always, and you'll just hit reel. And then it will already be made as a video. You will not be able to edit the tiles. Like I won't be able to change this wording, right? You're not going to be able to change anything about it besides adding Instagram features. Like you can add type on it from Instagram then, but you will not be able to edit this anymore. And then you'll do it like you normally do. You'll just add it as a reel. You'll choose your audio. I don't use any of Canva's audio because I want it to be trending or I want it to be something that Instagram recognizes. So that is all you're going to do. So hold on, I'm going to stop sharing in case there's questions. But there are so many templates, you guys on there that are beautiful. They're done. They include lots of elements and features that Instagram doesn't give you. Like I said, I just love the little white frame around things. I think for whatever reason that makes it look more elevated and professional. There are so many templates in there for that already. So you can do that with just a picture. You can do it with your own videos. You can do it with Canva's B-roll videos. You can do it with Canva's pictures. One of the nice things about Canva pictures are a lot of them either are faceless or you can move them in a way that chops the head off to make them faceless. And then you can use that random model girl who's got a beautiful picture, beautiful lighting, right? And you can use that as like your picture to be talking about whatever you want to talk about. Shakes, Green Gut Glow, whatever you want, whether you want to talk about the social aspect of the business, whether you want to talk about the travel aspect of the business, you don't always have to be the one on tape. And I know that that's a really big holdup for a lot of us. So this is a really quick way for when you are looking ugly, when you're exhausted, when you're tired, when you didn't have anything planned, for you to be able to use this crowdsourced content, completely legal to use this. You're not doing anything weird, to make professional looking videos. And if you start looking at your Instagram ads and even what big influencers are doing, you're going to see this stuff all of the time. I actually saw something today and I was like, what the hell? This girl is reposting my reel. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was using the same template that I happen to use, and it looks identical, but we just happen to be using the same template, right? So it's just a way that you'll be able to get a lot done more quickly when you're not necessarily feeling like being in the video. Or if you are feeling like being in the video, you just have more ability to do cooler stuff and to help your reels look a little more professional, to help them stand out. People ask me all the time, like, where is that font from that you're using in your reels? And the answer is, it's not Instagram's. That's why, because you guys who've ever made a reel on Instagram know that you're very limited to the number of fonts they have there. There's not a great amount of choice. There's not a great amount of choice with other elements. Even like the difference between the arrows you're offered on Instagram when you make the reel in Instagram and the arrows you're offered in Canva are night and day. So for me, this is something I don't use every single time. If I'm just making something simple, and I want it to be quick, I can easily do it in Instagram. If I want to make it look a little nicer, I take the extra 5 minutes and do it in Canva. I will say the one thing about Canva, if you guys are brand new, when you start using it, it is not intuitive. It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. It should be more intuitive. It's not. They have tutorial videos for everything. If you're like me, I'm super impatient. I don't have time to sit down and watch a video about how to do all of the things. Yes, this is how I've been doing the stories. But the more you work with it, the more you will know how to do everything you need to know how to do, and you'll just be teaching yourself. So I really suggest you work with it as much as possible. If you're finding it difficult right now, the more you do it, the simpler it gets. I use Canva at the very least 5 or 10 times a day. I can do so many things so quickly, and it just makes everything you do look more elevated. I don't ever use home office flyers. Not for anything. The content kit is getting a lot better, but I can make things that are specific to me or that feel like me or that feel like my brand very, very quickly now. If I need to make something like the image you guys see every time we have one of these skills calls, right? All of that stuff is made in Canva. And the great news is if it's something you're going to want to use over and over again, you can easily go back and always be editing that same image to change things that are simple. So if you wanted to change out the MVP's picture every single week on that, you'll be able to go back and do that. So you'll hear a lot about all the features of Canva when Nikki and Danielle do it in January, but just in terms of making a simple reel and how to kind of like take one step up for your social media, this has been what I think is a total game changer. If you start to do it and you like it, I would go ahead and pay for Pro. Pro just offers you so many more options. And like I said, it also gives you the ability to go back to previous versions. So sometimes when things get glitchy or when things get weird or whatever, and you think you've lost, all of your work, you haven't, because you can just go back to a previous version. So I'm going to check and see if you guys had any questions, but I didn't see anything crazy. Instagram, Alex, has changed the time limits for reels. It used to be under 15 seconds. And now it is even up to like an hour, not an hour, I'm sorry, a minute and a half can be a reel now. But Instagram is always changing their rules about stuff. So don't get set on any one thing, because Instagram changes the rules on stuff all the time. Danielle, I have more than one thing. So I have a huge ring light, like a professional ring light. I think it was like $250. It's taller than I am. It's big. That just lives in my room. So that's what's on right now. That's like for my desk. I don't really drag that around. I have a small clip-on one that I often use for when I'm making reels out. And in terms of the holder, I have something it's called an Olivia holder. It's got a very heavy base. It's from a company called Hey Paparazzo. It's got a very heavy base, and then it's got this arm that goes out like this and goes up and then can turn so that you can shoot overhead video. You can shoot video like this, like this, like this. It just gives you a lot of options, but I would not even worry about that stuff until you're consistently using your social media. It is fine to stand in front of a window and to prop your phone on the window frame. I do that all the time. All the time. No props, no extra money. None of this is really super necessary until you're going to be a heavy user. I find it helpful now, but it's a heavy user. Tori, should you put your reels on stories? Okay, so I have been reading that if you put your reels in stories, it's going to decrease your story views. I don't get that, because I love watching people's stories. There's a lot of people whose stories I watch who I don't ever see their feed, ever. So to me, it makes so much sense to put everything you do in your stories, just because that's where I'm seeing and following a lot of the people who I don't know personally, right? Like an influencer or whatever. I'm not really ever seeing their feed posts, but all the people who work with Instagram as creators are saying, when you do that, it decreases your story views. So it just depends. Do you want more reels views or do you want more story views? So I would say I actually can't really tell you that. Yeah, that answered that one. Tori, to find the trending audio, watch somebody else's reel, click on it, click on the music on the bottom, And if it has an arrow next to it that says trending, then click on the word that says trending. That's how you find like a list of trending audio. Otherwise, when you're making your reel, make your reel as normal, hit the music button. It'll come up with like that list of music. Anything with an arrow next to is trending. That way, though, you're not only getting what's trending, you're getting all the music options they think you might like. The fastest way to find only trending is to go into someone else's reel, click on their audio, then click the trending button, and then it'll give you a list of just trending. And then you're going to want to go ahead and save it. So if you're like, okay, I like this one, only, 1,500 people have used it. The only way for you to do that then is to click the save button, go back to making your own reel, click on audio, click on your saved audio, and then it will be there. They do not make this the easiest and most intuitive way to do this ever. It's not hard once you know what to do, but really, they're not really trying to tee you off in this is an easy, simple way to do this. Trending audio is great. If it's not in your bandwidth, it's not in your bandwidth. It's not that big a deal. Throw some kind of song on there. Shannon's going to talk more about what actually makes a bigger difference. But if you've got specific questions like that, I'm happy to answer them. You guys can Voxer me or put them in the Boom Squad thing, whatever you want to do, and I'll answer more specific questions. But I want to give Shannon time because I talked a lot today.
Well, you left me 2 minutes, Shannon. Thank you. So I'm going to make mine short and sweet. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, you guys, I just want to assure you that it's okay. Like, it is such a process with social media. So what we did is we created a special tracker that is for every single one of you. If that Canva tutorial just blew your mind and you're like, oh my gosh, wait for January, because we're going to go step by step through Canva. If you're already on Canva every day, I just learned, I'm like, sweet, I've never made a reel on Canva. Now I get how to do it. My other thought was Shannon, in what she said is that if you can't come up with ideas, go there for ideas. I never thought to go to Canva for an idea for my reels. So sometimes I'm empty with ideas of what to do. So thank you, Shannon. That was fantastic. And again, know that everyone is at different levels with their social media. So as long as you are working on it, that is our goal. It's just that you're doing better than you were on December 1st or November, whenever we started these trainings. So let me just screen share really quick a social media tracker that we made for you guys. And thank you to Shannon for just helping. She had something and we kind of made this for everybody. So I will tell you guys the number one tip, and I'll just take 2 more minutes, you guys, because it's 5:30. But the number one thing is your consistency. So I want you to pick your consistency. Just start there. If you're already on every day, we have another level for you. But know that if you're posting once a week, every other week, make a goal for yourself this week of what you're going to do to be consistent. So with the beginner, that would mean having 2 reels this week. So between today and next Monday, you do 2 reels, 1 carousel. That's just where you swipe. There's like 5 pictures or 4 or however many. You're just swiping. 2 static images, which just means a photograph. And then just do 1 or 2 stories a day. And just check the days that you do that and then make some notes. Maybe you see something that you like, make a note like, oh, I might do that tomorrow. Just begin, okay? And don't go diving into Canva, making it all perfect. That's for people that are they're the mids or the experts. So at mid, so if you already kind of feel like you're like, beginner looks easy to me, we want you to move over to the mid. 4 reels this week, 2 carousels, 3 static images, and 5 stories a day. If that feels like, oh my gosh, that would be a big deal, go for that. And then just make some notes. Again, this isn't right or wrong. This is just to help you build your consistency. Then we've got our experts. So this is the category Shannon falls into. I do not fall into this category. So I'm up on the other part where I just want to work on my consistency. But you can see the expert. This is where you really have presence. You're really making, it becomes a habit. You're not even thinking about recording and posting and doing all those things. You're getting into those Canva reels and you're getting all creative with your letters and you're just having fun with it. So I want to remind you, if you feel overwhelmed, you're going to start up with beginner. Okay. And then kind of ideas. Remember, we've talked about your 4 to 5 pillars. What are your brands? What do you want to talk about? Is it that you are a sports, person? Maybe you have kiddos, maybe you have a dog, maybe you have, whatever. You have Arbonne as well. But what are those 5 pillars that you enjoy posting on? Write those down so you remember, so you can kind of go, what am I going to post on? Your 3 core products that you love to share. Write those down. That might give you an idea for something on your story or carousel or reel. And then just ideas for the week. So we made this sheet so you could just print it out and just, use this as your guide, and then see how you're going to go from beginner to mid to all of us hopefully being experts. But that might be a process, and that's okay, you guys. If you're doing more than you did before, great. And if you're already consistent on social media, then it's time for you to level up and do some other things, right? To get creative. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like that is something you'll use? Is everybody wanting to level up their social a little bit? Okay, so we'll post that with the recording. And let me just look really quick at any of the chats. Let's see. A lot of people talking about Canva. Let's see. Any questions, Shannon, here that we should answer? I didn't really look at the chat before we wrap it up.
I feel like we're okay, unless you guys have something right now that we missed or you want us to answer. I just want to say also, you can take stuff from Canva Wholesale without changing it. If there's something in there and it's already working for you, sometimes you can just Google things up like January meal plan. You don't even really need to change it. You can just 100% just save it and use it as your own then, right? Just wanted to say that too. There are some things in there that you might not need to do any editing on whatsoever.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Danielle just asked the same question. Shannon already answered the tripod and light, right?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we'll wrap this up. You guys rock out free shipping, this free bag of shake. Consultants and VIPs get that as well this time. So that's awesome. Double volume. Just be focusing on all of that. And, just have some fun with your social media. And if you have specific questions, reach out to us. We definitely want to help. Reach out to Shannon if you have expert questions. If you have beginner questions, maybe I can help you along with a lot of other people on here. But I'm just learning and having fun with it. And I hope you guys are too. Know that there's an entire world out there that we can touch on social. And I think sometimes I've always built my business belly to belly. I'm the best with relationships and meeting people in person. So bringing this into my business and really challenging myself is fun. So just have fun with it at the level that you want to, and be consistent. So that's my word for this week, is be consistent and pick your level. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being on. If you have ideas or things you want to learn on these skills calls, reach out to your VP, let them know we're open, and we just want to make sure we're helping you guys and giving you ideas. So thank you all so much for being on. We love you. Have an awesome night. Bye.